What's up everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is another Infinite Magicraid video, and this is going to be all about Heng'e 3. And she is obviously in this weekend's Wish Up. She is currently in the trio match as a reward. So yeah, we're going to be talking about her skills, everything about Heng'e 3, okay? Everything about her. So yeah, it will be timestamped, so whatever you need to know, then you can skip to that. Don't forget, using Aptoid and code carzak, you can support me and my channel and save yourself money at the same time. You save 5% on every purchase using my code. You save 10% on every purchase initially on Aptoid. That can build up to 20%, and you also get that to stack with my code, obviously. Certain days you get 5% or 10% discount or cashback, whichever you want to call it. So the maximum you can possibly save is 30% in game. So that's a big amount of money depending on what you spend. I mean, a big amount of money to anyone is different in every circumstance. So definitely start trying to use it. Anything you want to know about apps, I'll link in the description below. Click it. It will show you how to use it. It will show you what you save. It will show you how to install it. Everything you need to know. Okay. Right. So let's get on with Heng'e 3 and have a little chat about her. Now, she is an amazing hero. She really is, okay? She really is so good. And we're going to talk about everything, why she's so good. She looks great as well, okay? She looks great, like a robot chick. She's got nice plaits here. Yeah, so other than the art, let's talk about why she's good. So on her basic, data erasure deals 2 stages of damage to a single enemy, each of which deals damage by 10% of Heng'e 3's max health, and extra damage by 5% of Electric Bunny's stored energy. This extra damage ignores defense, besides, removes 1 layer of a random buff from the target. That is really big. If the target doesn't have any buff, there is a 100% chance to inflict block buff for 1 turn, and that also is very big. We'll talk about why that's so big really quickly. Consider you had your bunny protection on, say, 3 allies. The enemy does an AoE hit against your team. Heng'e 3 is going to take all of that damage from those allies, and she's also going to launch 3 basic attacks against that enemy who did that. So she's going to start stripping buffs and then potentially landing block buff as well. And in PvP, that can be huge, okay? Because you know what it's like having to debuff the enemies. So that is very nice as well. Damage is increased. We'll come back to that in a bit. Bionic Barrier, her active skill. This is the one that protects your allies, okay? Grants 1 selected ally fictitious defense, considered as ally protection for Heng'e 3's 3 turns. Heng'e 3 will take 70% of the damage dealt to the ally with fictitious defense, and the rest, 30%, will be converted into energy, which will be absorbed and stored by the Electric Bunny for 2 turns. Up to 100% of Heng'e 3's max health can be stored. If the ally with fictitious defense takes active damage, Heng'e 3 will cast Data Erasure, which we just spoke about, once on the attacker. When casting the skill to an ally with fictitious defense, grants them 1 layer of block debuff for 2 turns and 1 layer of block removal for 2 turns. When casting the skill to self, she restores her self health by 24%. So that can actually be very useful in PvE, okay? This is a huge buff protection on your allies. It really is. It's amazing how it works. And also that damage that builds up with the Electric Bunny as well can really push her damage on. You can see the damage taken percentage is it decreased, and Electric Bunny's damage absorption percentage is increased, and health restoration is also increased on skill ups. On her passive Data Warehouse, at the beginning of each wave, Heng'e 3 gains 30% direct damage and dot reduction, which will be gradually converted into 60% max health bonus within 6 turns. Also, when any ally's health is lower than 50%, Electric Bunny will trigger Firewall. Heng'e 3 casts Bionic Barrier on the target immediately. This effect can be triggered up to 1 time every 3 turns. So what does this mean? Basically, you get you get an extra cast of Bionic Barrier on one of your allies that is taking damage. So if you've protected someone else and someone else starts to drop down, she will go, hey, you're dying, I'm going to save your ass, so here's my Bionic Barrier. And then she'll start taking damage for that as well. Direct damage is increased, and dot damage reduction bonus is also increased. That's both of those. That's the direct damage reduction as well. 12% max health bonus is increased as well. Now, Deconstructive Impact, her skill 4. Extends all allies' fictitious defense by 1 turn. So those that are being protected, because it does run out, okay? That's from the Bionic Barrier, sorry. So the Bionic Barrier obviously grants us fictitious defense. That is her protection on that ally. So it extends it by 1 turn. Electric Bunny grants all allies data deconstruction for 2 turns and deals 2 stages of damage by 10% of Heng'e 3's max health each to all enemies. So she does an AoE nuke, okay? Now this does work better if you have stored up Electric Bunny energy. The first stage will remove all buffs from the targets, and the second stage will inflict extra damage by 32% of Electric Bunny's stored energy. There you go. This extra damage ignores defense. Data deconstruction additionally gains crit damage equal to 40% of Heng'e 3's initial effect resistance up to 60%. So you're gaining crit damage equal to 40% of her effect resistance. So effect resistance is very important on Heng'e 3. The cooldown of this skill won't be affected by any other effects. So she's got a very nice kit. Okay, we're going to have a look at her exclusives quickly and which dupes really make a big difference. Level 1 exclusive grants the target Resolute 2 for 2 turns when casting Bionic Barrier. If a target already has Resolute, grants all allies Resolute 2 for 2 turns instead, which is a nice buff. Resolute 2, I've just got to double check a moment. It is skill damage increase. Okay, sometimes I get a little bit confused. So it is a skill damage increase, which can be a lot of damage on your allies. Level 2, at the beginning of turns of Heng'e 3 and the ally with fictitious defense, Electric Bunny gains energy equal to 5% of Heng'e 3's max health plus 10% of her lost health and restores Heng'e 3's health by the same amount of energy gained by Electric Bunny. Also reduces Firewall's trigger interval by 1 turn. So no longer are we going to be waiting 3 turns to save an ally. It will now be 2. Really big one as well. Level 3, and of course level 3 exclusive is going to be the biggest. When granting data deconstruction, refreshes the duration of all buffs on allies with fictitious defense, and extends data deconstruction's duration to 4 turns. That's really nice. If Heng'e 3 has data deconstruction at the beginning of her turn, deals damage by 22% of Electric Bunny's stored energy to the enemy with the lowest health percentage. This damage ignores defense. With all this being said, she is still very useful even at E0, okay? It's going to be about your build, and we're going to go into that in a moment. But first, the aura I'm currently using on my Heng'e 3 is Fearless Aura. Why? Reduces direct damage taken, so she can, she's struggling, you're not killing her quite as fast, and she does start taking a lot of direct damage. Unfortunately, this aura isn't leveled up very much, so I don't have a huge boost from this, but what else could we use? I mean, you could even consider using Bloodthirst Aura, couldn't you? For Leech, because she hits back a lot. Bloodthirst Aura could be actually huge on her, and I don't know why I haven't thought of this before. It's because it's on Brynhild. Boss Slayer Aura could potentially be, if you've got a crit rate, crit damage build. Again, you would need a crit rate build for the Bloodthirst Aura, but the Boss Slayer Aura increases direct damage dealt by that. This effect additionally increases by 25% when attacking bosses. This could be very vital in PvE. We don't really want advanced hit aura. Survival aura could be useful again. No. You don't want Combat Vanguard maybe, but then there's much better options for that. The other ones in the purple section we could use. You could use Deep Targeting Aura to increase her direct damage. Again, you'd want on a crit rate, crit damage build for that. You could use Frenzied Bloodlust Aura. There's quite a few auras you can use on her, to be honest. Again, Victory Rush Aura could be useful as well. Recovery Horn. No, I wouldn't use Recovery Horn Aura. You could use Fearless. That's the one we're using already, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. So, you could even use Dwarven Blessing Aura if you really want to push on that max health. But there is much better to use than this. Bold Confidence Aura as well, if you're lacking some crit rate, and she's really tanky as well. You'd need a good Heng'e 3 for that. I'm really tempted about this Bloodthirst Aura though. I may start trying to use that. Echo, well, she has Persistent Overload. She does have her own Echo. Effect resistance is vital for her. I do need to level this up more, but effect resistance is huge, and then she obviously gets her buffs from her actual echo as well. So anything with effect resistance on, you could also go for max health, defense, anything that's making her tankier as well. Okay, anything that's making her, you could even use Lydia's crit rate to boost her crit rate. Emblems that we currently have on Heng'e 3 is as follows. I will move myself into the center a moment, and you can see those there. That's what I've gone for. The crit rate there helps a little bit. We obviously need the support tree for the health boost, also the turn meter reduction boost, and then we just need the damage here. I mean, you could argue you could go defense, but I've got her on obviously the crit damage build here because I have gone crit rate, crit damage. So unless you're doing a crit rate, crit damage build, you may want to switch this up just a little bit. You may want to go, you could potentially go down the defense route and take max health. So, I mean, that's another way you could go if you're just purely wanting her to be a tank, but she can do very good damage, and we're going to talk about her stats right now. Obviously the game tells you health and effect resistance is key. However, you will notice the Heng'e 3 can do a massive amount of damage, which we will showcase shortly, and especially in Faction Abyss as well. Crit rate, crit damage build, okay? She still has a ton of stats, okay? She has 700k health. Ideally, as a newer player or a mid-game player, you would just want to go pure health, pure effect resistance, probably some speed, defense that you can get, just to make her as tanky as possible. But if you can get her to 100% crit rate, then you can start pushing your crit damage as well as not sacrificing health and effect resistance, then it could be a very nice build. Effect resistance is so important because she needs to not get CC'd, okay? Because she's protecting allies, she's going to be nuking back, and if she can't nuke back, then she just lacks a lot of her kit. So, I have her on a tough set. So let me move myself into the center again. Hang on. There we go. I have her on a tough set. The stats aren't amazing, but it's the health, tenacity, and effect resistance as well. So tenacity's nice. She's taking less damage. And that health plus 20% and plus 20% effect resistance is also very nice. Crit damage is on here, effect resistance, and health. Then I've got a slay set. A slay set to help boost that crit rate and crit damage. I know I'm not quite 100%, I know. Shameful. This does have crit rate on it. It will have some attack rate, defense rate, health rate. This is all very nice, okay? That attack rate is still going to boost her. Defense rate and health rate is going to help her defense. And obviously the health rate increases her damage as well slightly. On the boots, yes, I do have a mythic pair of boots. Speed 288, effect resistance plus 3, which was nice actually. Attack rate and health rate. Yeah, okay, there wasn't a crit rate. There was a little bit of crit damage, didn't roll into it, but I was happy upgrading this because it had 3 on effect and distance, and I tried to go for 4, which I think it rolled into attack rate, which wasn't the end of the world. On the accessory, the tough set accessory, I have effect resistance, unfortunately mastery, some crit rate and health rate. This is the best I can friggin' put together. This is the best I can put together. So defensive egg, I've gone for crit rate. I've gone for some, I mean, the reason that we've gone for defense rate there is because it's the best I have in my arsenal. And it's also got a little bit of attack rate and then some flat attack as well. Ideally, I could have probably gone for a little bit more effect resistance. And potentially got some crit damage, but she's tankier. Okay, she's even tankier again with this defense rate. So it's quite nice. On the second artifact, we've gone for effect resistance. It's vital. It's got attack rate on it and effect here. But again, this is the best piece I currently have. It does have some crit rate and crit damage. So that helps just ever so slightly. On the final piece, I've gone for a speed, endless treasure. I do need to probably upgrade this one and hope it goes into crit rate. But then I think that would be a bit of a waste upgrading this one with a mythic dragon scale. So I'll probably wait. Oh, I can't even do that with that, can I? It would just be a... Do you know what? Let's hope... Is it going to go into crit rate? Is it? Oh, it didn't. Okay, never mind. I just did that for the video. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So if it went into crit rate, it probably would have made her 100% crit rate. So that's a shame. That's a shame. But that's how it goes. That's how the cookie crumbles. If you don't want to go for speed, you could potentially go for health or defense, even attack if you just want a bit of extra attack. But it's really min-maxing your stats trying to achieve those. Other sets we could use for her. I mean, my favourite is probably Tough and Slay. You could go double Slay if you have good enough stats with good enough effect resistance, but you really do not want to sacrifice effect resistance. Anything under 100%, and yeah, it's just not great. Other sets you could use, I mean, obviously Toughness is the most attractive. I'm going to move myself here a moment. You can see why it's so attractive. You could potentially go for this piece here. What is this called again? Is it Dexterity? Dexterity potentially, but only 10% effect resistance. Yeah, Toughness is my favorite, along with Slay. For sure. Double Toughness, if you can get good stats on it, you are looking at a very tough Heng'e 3 that's very hard to kill, and that can be vital in PvP. So yes, she is. That's how she's built. I think I've shown everything on her here. We need to start and go and have a look at what she's like in the game. So we'll begin our what is this again? That's arena. 3 losses. Woo! So I want to go straight to Faction Abyss a moment, and we're going to go to Nameless Brotherhood. Okay. Let's just clear it because I haven't cleared this one 3 stars. Is everyone? I check this because sometimes I've had like stage 7 2-star. I'm like, what a waste. So let's hit stage 25. Now, let's just say, for instance, that I'm going to remove Heng'e Jin, actually. I don't... Do I want her nuking it? Might help on the boss, actually. In fact, it might be a bit tricky still. I could bring in Frick to reduce the damage. Or Popper to reduce turn meters. Now, we'll go with this. Okay, so we do have Magd in here. We do have Inner. We have Heng'e 3. Dustin is massive in the Faction Abyss at Nameless Brotherhood. And we have Heng'e Jin. Now, obviously, Magd with Heng'e 3 is great. And the great thing about this is the support. The support in Nameless Brotherhood is so strong. And Heng'e 3 loves that. Let's just go in. If it fails, it fails. It shouldn't fail. It shouldn't fail. I'm hoping everyone else has freaking gear on. So, for instance, you would come in and you would put on Toxic Residual. So, you've got that consolidation on your allies. Now, Heng'e Jin is the target of Naskama. So, I'm going to protect her. Now, whenever she gets hit, Heng'e Jin is going to take that damage. Let's just cooldown increase on some of those allies. As you see, that was an AoE. So, Heng'e 3 is going to counter back. Block buff or block debuff. And also dealing very nice damage. No one else is hit, but look at that damage there. She has dealt good damage. Let's not use Heng'e 3 just yet. We can safely hit on the basic, though. Tons of health burning. Let's effect resistance down. We could shield, but I don't feel like we need to. So let's protect another ally here. So who would be the most dangerous of dying? Probably Dustin. So we'll protect Dustin. We could shield, but I'm not going to. I'll save that for the next wave. So there you go. He hit 2 targets with Defectuous Defense. So Heng'e 3 is like, bro, I'm defending 2 of those. I'm going to hit you twice. Okay. So you've done a ton of damage just from that. Obviously, it doesn't matter about Heng'e Jin. She is protected. She is protected. I'll save all of her cooldowns. I'll save... Wait, what? Oh, yeah. It's because I didn't have the basic targeted. She is horrified. Now, the horrify, I don't believe affects... Oh, it does. It affects Victorious Defense. That's interesting. That's good to know. That is good to know. Okay. See how you learn something even when you're doing that. So horrify can stop her from triggering her counters. Okay, so we will Toxic Residue again. And we're going to protect our Heng'e Jin. Obviously, she's the weakest. We will shield this time. You see the AoE is coming in. Now, if 3 allies had that Victorious Defense, she would probably nuke each one down. Let's proper shield this time. Just while we're waiting and then build up for the boss wave. Now, she is also going to remove Hal's buffs. She will debuff this Immortal, which is huge. There you go. Which is massive. Okay. So, are we going to have the cooldowns ready for the boss? I'm hoping so. Let's not nuke too much. See, she's hitting hard. She hits so hard. Okay, let's keep targeting Taff. Okay. And we should be okay. Oh, okay, it's not the big boss anyway. We're fine. Okay, it's not the big boss anyway. So we're going to protect Anhi Jin. Going to increase cool. Oh, it didn't work on that one. The increased cooldown. Let's put in an AoE. Oh, Dustin doesn't have his shield. Never mind. Magdi has one. So you can see this now. So we've got two allies protected currently because it triggered it because Magdi went under 50%. And we're going to trigger it on Dustin as well. So then we have 3 allies protected. So watch what happens. Everyone's super stacked here with health, okay? And shield, fully defended, no problem. When that boss AoEs again, we're going to trigger this onto inner now. So watch what happens now when this boss AoEs. Everyone has Fictitious Defense on them. 4 allies. So here it comes. And for some reason, don't kill it, Arnie Jin. 69, look at that. So watch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, over time, I mean, that's built up as well. Built up the energy. So let's do her Nuka moment. Let's see what her AoE does here. 191. Then a big hit afterwards because that was the stored bunny energy which she built up through those turns there. Thanks to absorbing that damage. Again, AoE. So Heng'e 3 is dealing more damage again. Let's trigger Anhi Jin here a second. Let's try and not let Heng'e 3 beat her on damage. Wouldn't be a good show, would it? Okay. Kill that one. So let's have a look at what damage she did. But see how well she protected her allies there. She did do 24 million. Okay, don't take notice of this Anhi Jin with 21 million. We could have done a lot more than that, but we was trying to showcase Heng'e 3. And that really does show how strong she is. Even when there's not really... I mean, you could throw a support in here again. You could throw another support. You could throw a Frick in for Anhi Jin. Heng'e 3 doing all the damage there just while your team survives. Just while your team survives. So that's very nice. I did get my little star there. Let's have a quick look at Arena. Let's have a quick look at Arena. Let's go into Classic Arena. And obviously you're going to see a lot of teams with Heng'e 3 in defense just because it's lethal. It is super annoying. Bunny, Soul King. Haven't attacked you for a long time actually. Let's think this one will be okay. I mean, it's pretty similar. The only change here is I have Ben Austin, he has Esther. I could throw an Esther, but I've only just got my Esther, so I haven't started using her loads yet. We could get nuked here though, because the damage, if she buffs Heng'e 3, it could be an issue. Right, so AoE defense, AoE friggin' defense down. It's not defense down. We now cleanse this. It was in prison, by the way. So buffs are going to be stolen on this. A lot of buffs are going to be stolen on both sides. So he does. Who did he possess? I can't see. There's too many buffs. There's too many buffs. Let's extend the cooldowns. I don't want that Santa freezing my allies in a moment. Never mind. It did it anyway. It did it anyway. Let's now you have 2 options. You can either defense your Fictitious Defense up to protect your strongest attack, especially in a situation like this, or you can start to debuff, so you can strip it. However, sometimes it's nice to put on Fictitious Defense, take some of that damage to build up our energy on our Heng'e 3. You notice that Heng'e 3 nuked us straight away to strip our buffs. But in a situation like this, sometimes it can be nice to leave it a turn, steal some more of their buffs when they attack, because Heng'e 3 is protecting. Heng'e 3 is protecting. Let's trigger it on this Heng'e 3 here. See how much damage they can take. Reduce that Santa. I don't think I'm going to win this. Let's have a nuke and see how much damage we can do here a moment. We did store up some energy. So there's the strip, and then the damage comes. Oh. I think we did quite a bit actually. I mean, we nuked that Heng'e 3 down. Because obviously it's shared damage, especially from an AoE. But Bunny has revived her. Sneaky little bunny. block buff on. Right, does Lydia have it? And then she resists it anyway. Let's target Pauline. Let's protect. Bum 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 bum. Nicholas. So now we've got 3. I mean, see that. See her just rip through that Pauline there. Let's target this Lydia. Another thing as well is that obviously when you're against a Lydia, they are stealing your buffs. So if you're, hitting them with Heng'e free, at least you're removing their buffs and then you're putting block debuff as well on, which can be very, very useful because they're not going to be stealing your buffs. I don't want this bunny to revive everyone. Heng'e free, doing Heng'e free things. Let's refresh the duration on our Lydia because that has been up a little while. Let's start hitting this Esther. I mean, it's shared damage between them anyway, but we can keep the her turn meter down a little bit. Oh, she did good damage there. She did good damage there. Okay, so we need to try and kill this Esther before she starts to revive, because I think she will revive her allies now. And Lydia does the job there. Lydia does the job. I mean, you can see her worth there. Let's just have a look at how much damage she did in our team here. So Heng'e 3 did 8. Let me move myself. Compared to Salt, and I don't know, I didn't check the gear on Salt Kings, but when you manual against a team like this, it's much different than when you auto, okay, because you can select certain targets, so that's what that is as well. I mean, she did do more damage than Lydia, okay, so she can do a lot of damage. She's not just a massive support, she's also a big damage dealer. She's not, however, going to be massive for you in Guild Boss, okay? There's only 20 turns within Guild Boss. In fact, let's just quickly do a battle test. Because I haven't done this before, so let's just see what she can. I have regressed my O'Grady's. Let's just chuck her in, and chuck her in with Lydia, obviously. We would need. Let's throw in Catherine as well. I just want to see the damage that she can do, because obviously she's going to be counter-attacking. The boss does do quite a bit of AoE. I mean, she does 177 million. It's actually pretty impressive. It's actually pretty impressive, isn't it? That would be her counters. And as well, I mean, we didn't exactly time anything there. It could probably be improved. I doubt Lydia used her skill 2 first. She probably used her skill 4, so the reduction of cooldowns as well. So that is it for your Heng'e 3. She is up this weekend. I was requested to do a video. I didn't realise I hadn't done a build on her, so I apologise for that. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you understand Heng'e 3 just a little bit. Just a little bit. And yeah, enjoy it. Have a fantastic day, even wherever you are. Goodbye.